Ready to Love, and I know the finale was last night, but I'm gonna tell you the real show was on over on Christal XO's YouTube channel because I found it a little bit more interesting. So we're gonna talk about that today. I mean, you know, congratulations to Joy and Clifton, and congratulations to Donovan and Carmen. But let me tell you, I really rather talk about this interview that Sabrina did with Christal XO. If you haven't seen the interview, I'll leave the link down in my description box and you can go there and check it out. It was a long interview. It was about an hour long. And I thought she did a good job because she just let Sabrina talk towards the back end. And that's what I want to hear. Just let Sabrina talk, because you know what? The more Sabrina talked, the more, to me, I realize Sabrina is trying to gaslight us all out here. Let me tell you, Sabrina is really crafty. I mean, we know that Sabrina's beautiful, but let me tell you, she got a way with words. And if you don't listen real carefully, you'll get twisted up in that tornado of words that she uses. She talks with this self-assuredness and this confidence, and as if she's spitting like real good logic. But when you start really slowing it down and listen to what she's saying, it's all bullshit. And she starts to make you believe that what she's saying is the truth, and she wants you to deny what you've seen and heard from the past and believe her stories, and I'm not going for it. We all know that Sabrina likes to be chased, but now we figured out one of her tactics to keep you chasing her is to keep you in a cloud, a mysterious cloud where you can never get your answers. You can never figure out what's going on. So you just completely confused and you just follow her blindly wherever she's going and you believe whatever she's saying. You following her because you're looking for clarity. You're trying to understand, and that's what keeps you in the chase for Sabrina. So first, let's start off with gaslighting number one with Sabrina. And we're going to talk about this timeline she keeps talking about, this divorce timeline, the difference between her and Donovan, which she wanted us to believe there is a difference. And we find out more and more there's actually not that big of a difference at all. Sabrina tells us that she separated from her husband a year and a half ago at the beginning of the pandemic. And she told us it takes 6 months in DC before you can get a divorce. So she spent a year and a half, probably because of COVID. COVID slowed things way down. So she couldn't get that divorce right away, but she had a year and a half of separation between then and when she started this show. And really what she's saying is from the finalized divorce, ink on the paper, it's only been 4 months since she started this show. Well, we find out, and she even acknowledges, that's the same line as Donovan. That's the same timeline as Donovan. He too had the same year and a half, the same few months before the show started, the same few 4 months. So what's the difference, Sabrina? What is the difference? You can't put down Donovan's timeline when your timeline's the same timeline. She tried to say that the difference was because of how Donovan used his last 3 months. I guess Donovan must have been honest and told her he was just basically out here dating a bunch of women, and she thought that he didn't use his time wisely. But then she was asked, did she date anybody before the show? She says, yeah, I dated a few people. Then what's the difference, Sabrina? The timeline's the same, the amount of distance is the same, and you both dated people before the show, in between your divorce and this show. What's the difference? You know what? There is no difference, and that's gaslight number one, where she tried to make it believe that Donovan was worse off than her in this category, and the truth is, they're just the same. Gaslight number two is when Christal started asking her, well, you know what, does she think she needed to take more time off to really get to know what she wanted in a guy? And you know what Sabrina said? Sabrina said time is an indicator of healing. Well, you just told Donovan that time was an indicator of healing, Sabrina. Sabrina also brought up this list, this manifesto that I talked about before. And you know all of a sudden what Sabrina's saying? And Sabrina's saying when the magic is there and the spark is undeniable, you don't need a list. A list goes all out the window. Then why have a list, Sabrina? If you're willing to throw the list away for the right guy who makes you have a spark, then why are you bringing the list in the first place? What's the point of all this stuff on the list? What's the point of this manifesto if you're trying to tell us right now the list ain't that important when you meet a man who gives you a spark? This girl says one thing over here and then another thing over here. Like I said, just when we saw this manifesto, I knew that was a bunch of bull crap, and here she is saying it ain't that important if you find a man with a spark. Gaslight number three, Sabrina says that the reason why she was attracted to Demetrius is because she likes his strong confidence and she likes alpha males. She said that's who she's attracted to, alpha males. Okay, Sabrina. But then she said one of the things that she didn't like about Demetrius is that he was structured and he likes to lay out the path for women to follow him on. Sabrina, that's what an alpha male does. I thought you just said you liked the alpha male. She says, but that scares her because you know what? She values her independence and she likes to do things her own way. Well, then you don't need to be with an alpha male, Sabrina. Sabrina says sometimes she wants the man to follow her when she's smarter than him and she has strong opinions. Well, Sabrina, you think you're smarter than everybody, and you always have a strong opinion. So if you want your man to follow you when you think you're smarter, that means he will be following you all the time. Sabrina, that ain't an alpha male. Alpha male ain't gonna follow you. Sabrina said Demetrius told her that he wants to pay all the bills. He wants the woman to be taken care of, and he wants the woman to be able to just to sit back and not have no stress and concentrate on things that make her happy. That's what Demetrius told Sabrina that he wanted to give her. And you know what Sabrina said? Sabrina said, yeah, but with that comes a level of deference that she didn't want to do. So you think a man's gonna give you all this, pay all the bills, do all this for you, but he don't want you to defer to him in any kind of way? Girl, you don't want an alpha male. You are the alpha female. You don't need an alpha male. She also said she didn't like Laverne's strong personality. That Laverne came in hot on the show. You remember when Laverne was all puffed up? And she said, you know what? Yeah, Laverne doesn't know how to apologize. Instead, what he does is he always rationalizes his behavior. That's you, Sabrina. Once again, Sabrina takes situations and she points the finger at the men that they're the problem. But the truth of the matter is, she's the very same thing that she's complaining of. Number 4, Sabrina said, you know what? She really can't say there was a connection with Donovan and Tori. What? All season long, you kept saying you had 3 connections. Now she's saying no. Tori was an attraction and Donovan was an attraction. There's a difference between attraction and connection. She's trying to say now that the only connection she had was with Demetrius. Well, if your only connection was with Demetrius, then why did you get rid of him at the end? I don't get it, Sabrina. She also tried to say that the reason the men were mad was because she had multiple connections. Well, you just said you didn't have no connections. You only had attraction. So why would they be mad? And second of all, she says, well, you know, Demetrius talked to other people on the phone. Well, then if they were talking to other people, why would they be mad that you were talking to other people? So I got to tell you, Sabrina talks out 2 ends of her mouth. You really got to listen to her. This is why Donovan said she says one thing, but she does another. Number 5, this is when Sabrina started talking about why she and Donovan really fell out. We come to find out that Donovan and Sabrina shared a kiss off camera. It wasn't even caught off camera. And Sabrina tells the story that they agreed not to tell anybody about the kiss. But what she said was, it was Donovan who said that he didn't want to tell anybody about the kiss because he didn't want the kiss on camera and he didn't want his kids to see him kissing another woman. I don't believe that because we just watched the episode last night and we saw Donovan kissing Carmen and Carmen was darn near eating his whole face off. And the other thing, this kiss took place before the retreat. And when we saw Donovan at that retreat, he was in the hot tub with Carmen and he was in the bunk beds with Carmen. So I really don't believe that Donovan was trying to keep his reputation clean. I believe it was Sabrina and she didn't want Demetrius to know that she had kissed Donovan. So that's a lie right there. I don't believe it. I don't believe that it was Donovan who wanted to keep the secret. I think it was Sabrina who wanted to keep the secret. Number 6, Sabrina says she's a hopeless romantic. I don't see nothing romantic about Sabrina at all. In fact, she's not a hopeless romantic because she was lying to Demetrius. And what she got mad at was that Donovan told the secret. At the retreat, Donovan told Demetrius that they had kissed. And that's why Demetrius got mad at Sabrina at the retreat. But you know what? Sabrina threw it back on Donovan and said, Donovan tried to sabotage my relationship with Demetrius. So she kisses Donovan, but she blames Donovan for trying to sabotage the relationship with Demetrius. Well, maybe you sabotaged it when you kissed Donovan. And not only did you kiss him, you lied to Demetrius and you never wanted to tell him. That ain't a hopeless romantic. That's somebody doing stuff on the side and behind somebody else's back. That ain't hopeless romantic. Number 7, she said she wanted to have the full experience of the show. She wanted to be able to make multiple connections with people and she doesn't know why people were mad. This is what the show is about. So then they say, okay, well, the show is also about meeting people's family. So why do you meet the family, Sabrina? That's part of the show too. Well, here comes your next gaslighting from Sabrina. She said she didn't want to meet Demetrius' aunt because she said that 2 days before then was when Demetrius hadn't talked to her for 2 days because he was mad that she had kissed Donovan, but what he was really mad at was that she didn't tell him. That's what he was more mad at. So what she said was, I didn't want to meet Demetrius' aunt because Demetrius had told his aunt that she had kissed Donovan. So wait a minute, you don't want to meet the aunt because you kissed Donovan? And so what she's saying is she didn't want the aunt to bring it up in the meeting. So she was mad at Demetrius because Demetrius didn't protect her reputation. Demetrius didn't protect her reputation and image, and she wasn't going to get blindsided by the aunt. So now it's Demetrius's fault that you kissed Donovan. Now it's Demetrius's job to protect your reputation when you weren't protecting your reputation. So now you're mad at Demetrius. So now you're going to punish Demetrius and not go meet his aunt. This girl, she don't take no accountability for anything. But Demetrius told her, you want me to protect your image? But he said, you know what? You did me wrong. You had another man coming to me telling me about what you was doing with him behind closed doors, and you didn't have the guts to say it to my face. And that's what Demetrius about. That's right. Sabrina always talk about she's transparent and she's upfront. Well, then you shouldn't have been afraid to meet that aunt, because what you could have told the aunt was you could have been transparent and been upfront. And then she said, I don't even know why Demetrius was mad, because he ain't my man. Well, then if he ain't your man, Sabrina, why does he need to protect your image? Number nine, she says another reason why she rejected Demetrius in the end is because their communication wasn't flowing. Well, your communication wasn't flowing because you was keeping secrets and lying to Demetrius. So all along, she was telling Demetrius at the retreat, give me more, I need to see more of you. And all along, she had been kissing on Donovan in the background and not telling Demetrius the truth. Ain't that some stuff? So you keeping secrets, but you telling Demetrius to open up. Girl, you something else. Number 10, she asked her, what did you learn about yourself? You know what Sabrina said? She gave that corporate answer in the interview. You know when you say, you talk about your weak points, but your weak points aren't weak points? That's what Sabrina laid out on the table last night. She said she learned she is a strong woman. She said she learned she can see the beauty in anyone. What? Girl, you didn't see the beauty in no one. In fact, you saw them dirty fingernails on Donovan. But you know what? She backtracked on that too. She tried to say she didn't say it. Then she started saying, oh no, Donovan's fingernails are really clean. They're manicured and everything. He gets them done. Well, then why did you talk about his dirty fingernails? Because she was being petty. And what she said is, oh no, he was just fidgeting with his hands. That's two different things, Sabrina. You was petty. You can't be a person that sees the good in everybody, but then sit on there and talk about dirty fingernails and being petty. And you called Laverne a petty little man. Sabrina, you don't see the good in anybody. You see all the bad in everybody. The other thing she said she learned she ain't going to settle. Is she right about that? Sabrina is not going to settle. You know why? Because Sabrina is like wrangling a cat. She spins you all around the room. She wants to create an image and a narrative of who she is, and she's none of that. She ain't going to never let a man catch her. Just like she didn't want Donovan to catch her, because she's too busy running from herself. Sabrina don't even know who she is. She can't settle down because she doesn't know who she is, and so no one can really get to know who she is because she's too busy with a fake image. Good luck, Sabrina. She says she and Demetrius don't even talk anymore. Go figure. I'm not surprised. Talk to you later. Bye.